Welcome to the PPL Repertoire Registration journey of bulk registering recordings. This is one of a series of tutorial videos produced to help guide you through the Register Repertoire system. All of these videos can be located on My PPL and the Register Repertoire landing page, which can be found by logging into My PPL. In this video, we will walk you through the process of uploading your recordings in bulk to PPL's Register Repertoire system. Uploading recordings in bulk is the quickest way for you to submit multiple recordings. It is important to remember that once you've imported your recordings, you will still need to submit them to complete the process. It is recommended that you set up territorial rights and performer lineup defaults before beginning the bulk repertoire registration process. If you do not, you'll need to add territorial rights and performer lineup data to recordings one at a time after you have submitted them. When setting up your territorial rights and performer lineup defaults, you will be asked to give each default setting a name. This name is what you will later use in the bulk upload file. Please see the Manage Repertoire video for more information on Manage Defaults. To get started with the bulk repertoire registration process, go to the Register Repertoire landing page and click on the Upload Recordings in Bulk tile. Step 1. Downloading and completing the template. Click on the link to download the Repertoire Upload template. You must ensure you are using the latest version of the PPL template before completing it. Please do not delete any of the headings in row 1, such as ISRC or band/artist name. Proceed to complete the template with your information from row 2 onwards. It is important to know that you must have a valid ISRC for each of the recordings you want to import. If you do not have a valid ISRC, the individual recording will fail and will not be imported into the system. As mentioned earlier, it is recommended that you set up your territory and performer lineup defaults before completing your repertoire upload template, because if you do not do this, you'll need to go back to each individual recording and complete the territory and performer lineup information individually. Once you have set up your defaults, the names you have used to save the defaults should be inserted into the appropriate columns in the upload template where required. For example, if you have set up a lineup default and named it as The Beatles, you should populate the appropriate column in the bulk upload template with The Beatles. It is important to note that you cannot add new individual performer information using this template. Performers and lineups need to be created in the defaults section of Manage Repertoire. To create new defaults, navigate to the Register Repertoire landing page and click on the respective tile for Create Repertoire Default, Create Territory Default, or Create Performer Lineup Default. You can learn more about defaults in the Manage Repertoire video. Once you have completed all the data you need to submit, you will need to save the file in a CSV format. Please note that if your repertoire includes titles or band/artist names with special characters, you will need to save the file as Unicode, UTF-8. To do this, open the file with Notepad, click Save As, select UTF-8 from the encoding menu and save the file, ensuring its file name extension is still .csv. If you'll be uploading a large amount of files, it is worth having an appropriate file naming convention to help you differentiate between files. See the Repertoire Style Guide, which is located on the Register Repertoire landing page. Please note that you must give a unique name to each file you upload. Any files with the same name as one you have previously uploaded will be rejected. Before uploading your file, please check your data to ensure it is accurate and contains all the information you expect it to. Some data validation errors cannot be corrected on screen afterwards, and can only be corrected in the template and re-uploaded, so it is best to double-check all of the data is accurate before uploading it. Moving on to Step 2. Upload your file. When you are ready to upload your repertoire file, click on Upload File and browse to the file's saved location to select the one you wish to upload. You can only upload one file at a time. The maximum allowable size of a file is 25 megabytes, which equates to roughly 100,000 recordings. Please ensure that your file does not exceed these limits before you upload it. We recommend that you make more regular submissions with smaller repertoire files. Importing larger files may take slightly longer, but please do not try to refresh the page. A progress bar will appear. This means that the system is checking that your file meets the format criteria, such as file type, size, and having the right columns in the right place. When the window displays a completed progress bar, click Done, and you'll receive a positive confirmation message at the top of the screen. Moving to Step 3. Start Import. This is the final step in importing your repertoire. The Start Import button will turn from grey to blue, indicating that it is now possible to import your repertoire file. The system will do a few more checks on the actual information in the file before completing the import. Click Yes on the Confirm Import Action pop-up window to proceed. We now move on to Manage Repertoire. Once the import has completed, you'll be automatically taken to the Files tab within the Manage Repertoire dashboard. This is the area to manage your new and previously imported files. Your most recently imported file will appear at the top of your list. On this page, you'll see a summary of all your files, along with different indicators showing the status of the recordings within those files. If you do not see your file in the File Name column, click Refresh to refresh this list. If your file has a high number of recordings in it and you do not see the full number of recordings you would expect in the Imported Recordings column, click Refresh at any point to update the page. It could be that the file is still being imported. Imported recordings, rejected recordings, submitted recordings, and failed recordings mean the following. Firstly, imported recordings. This is the number of recordings that have been imported and are ready to be reviewed and submitted in Manage Repertoire. To review these recordings, click on the file name. Your goal here is to ensure that the recordings you have imported are valid. Once you are satisfied that you have addressed any errors in the individual recordings, you must submit them to complete the registration process. You can use the filtering options to find recordings that might need to be fixed. You can find more information about this in the Manage Repertoire video. Back on the Files page, you will now see the number of submitted recordings has been updated as you have submitted recordings from the file to the repertoire database. Rejected recordings. This is the number of recordings that have been imported but rejected. This could be a result of trying to import a duplicate recording or providing an invalid recording rights holder. To review these recordings, again click on the file name to be taken to the detail of the recordings, but this time click on the Rejected tab and use the Filter by Error Type to see which recordings are displayed when you use the different filter options. Once you are satisfied that you have addressed all errors in the individual rejected recordings, please re-upload a new file containing the previously rejected recordings only. And finally, failed recordings. This is the number of recordings that did not have an ISRC and therefore were not imported. You can click on the value in the column to see the individual rows that did not have an ISRC, so you can return to your file and include the appropriate recording information. If you have uploaded a file in error, click on the drop-down menu under Action and select Remove. This will permanently remove the file from Register Repertoire. It is only possible to do this if you have not submitted any of the recordings in this file. Remember, simply uploading or importing a file is not sufficient to register repertoire with PPL. Please make sure you still submit the recordings within Register Repertoire. When you are satisfied with the recordings that you have imported, you can do this either from your Files tab view or from the Recordings tab view by selecting each recording line by line or by selecting all and clicking Submit. If you want more information on how to register a recording, register your releases, or manage your repertoire, please watch these video guides or refer to our user guides, which can be found on My PPL or the Register Repertoire landing page.